Alright guys, so in the last video we went ahead and added pagination. We made it so that only the published listings show on the front end website. We also we made it so that they're ordered by list date. Now what I want to do before we move to like the single listing and all that, I want to make the homepage listings dynamic, the latest listings here, because right now this is just markup. Alright, I want to take care of that. I also want to take care of the about page because we have some dynamic data here that needs to be displayed, like the realtors and the seller of the month. So we're going to work on that. Alright, so let's head on over to VS Code, and we're going to close up the views.py from the listings app, and we're going to open up views.py in pages, which, let me just close this so I don't confuse people. Close everything up and go to pages. We want to go to views.py, all right, which is very simple right now. It's just loading the templates. I also want to go to the pages index.html template where we have the static markup, which is right here. So listing 1, 2, and 3. All right, we're basically going to do the same thing we did for the listings page, except we only want 3 listings, no pagination or anything like that. So in our view, even though we're inside the Pages app, we can get any model we want. So we want to bring in the listing model. So we're going to say from listings, basically from the listings app models, we want to import the listing model. Okay, and down here, this is going to be pretty simple. We're just going to create a listings variable, set it to the listing model. I do want to order it by date, so I'm going to say order underscore by, and we want to do by list date, so list underscore date. And of course we only want the ones that are published. Even though this is the home page, we still don't want to show unpublished listings, so we're going to do dot filter, and we're going to pass in is underscore published, and we only want to show ones that are true. And then I want to limit this to only 3 listings, so I'm just going to pass on some brackets and do :3. That's going to say that we only want 3 listings. And then we'll just create a context variable, just like we did in the other views file. So context equals a dictionary with listings, and we'll set that to listings. Okay, and then we just want to pass that into the index template here, like that. All right, so that should do it. So we'll save. Now we're passing it into the index HTML. We just need to now receive it and loop through them and display the dynamic data, just like we did with the listings.html file. All right, so we're going to go right here, okay, right in this row, and we just want to do the exact same thing. Just use a for loop through. First of all, we want to check to see if there's any listings. So for now, I'm just going to go right here below the div of row, and I'm going to put in my if statement to check if there's any listings. So if listings, and let's end that if, and if, then actually we want an else as well. Okay, so if there are no listings, then let's just put a, what should we do here? Let's put a div. So we'll do a div call md12, just a 12 column div, and then we'll put a paragraph and we'll say no listings available. Okay, now if there are listings, that means we want to loop through them. So we're going to go right here and we're going to put in our tags, and we're going to do a for. So we want to say for listing, singular, in listings, plural. Okay, then we want to make sure we end that for. And in here is where we want to put our listing markup with some dynamic values. And I'm just going to copy this listing 1. So this div to this div. I'm going to grab that. Okay, I'm actually going to cut it out and put it in the for. because it's going to display that for each one. And then I'm going to get rid of listing 2 and listing 3. Okay, so that's listing 2. It's just static stuff. Listing 3 ends right here, so just want to delete that as well. All right, so we shorten up this file quite a bit. Whoops. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to change some of this over to dynamic content. So I'm actually going to tab this over a bit. So we'll start with, let's say, what do we want to do here? Let's do the image. So for the image, it's going to be pretty much the same exact thing we did on the listings. So we want to do listing dot, and the field name is photo underscore main, and we just want to do dot URL since it was an image field. All right. For the pricing, I want to do the comma thing just like we did before. And remember, we used an app called Humanize, which we loaded in the settings file, but we have to also load it up at the top to be able to use it. So we're going to say load Humanize like that. Okay, and then we're going to go down, back down here, and we now should be able to put in the listing price. So listing dot price, and we can put a pipe character and say int comma. Okay, so that should work. Now let's do the title. We'll say title. I actually like to put spaces on the ends here like that. You don't have to, but I think it looks a little cleaner. Oops. All right, and then what else do we have here? We have the address. So actually, this should be listing dot title, and then I'm going to copy this, and we have 3 different values here. So I'm going to paste in all of these, and then we're going to change this first one to city. We're going to change this one to state, and this one to zip code. Okay, so it'll reach into the database and it'll get those fields for us. Then we have the square feet. So I'm going to go ahead and say listing.sqft. Let's see, we have the garage. Actually, I'll just copy one of these. So this will be listing.garage. Okay, then we want bedrooms. And bathrooms. Let's see. So for the realtor, we should be able to just do listing.realtor, and that will automatically give us his name. And then for the date, we're going to do listing.listDate. So list underscore date. And then we want to add a pipe character, and we want to use time since. All right. Now for the more info, obviously we don't want to link to listing HTML. We want to use URL. Actually, we're going to put this in our tags. So we want to use URL, and we want to go to listing, and we also want to pass in the listing .id. Okay, for more info. So let's save that, and let's go back to our home page. Type object listing has no attribute order by. Let's see what's going on there, because that's not right. Listing dot order by. You know what? I forgot objects. It should be objects dot order by. Sorry about that. And there we go. We have our latest listings, and these are now coming from the database, which is exactly what we want. All right, cool. So the next step is for the about page. Okay, so for the about, we want to have the team members or the realtors and we want to have the seller of the month as well. So let's go back to the views.py in our pages. We have the about right here, so that's what we want, and we want to do the same kind of thing, except now we're dealing with realtors, so we need the realtor model. So I'm going to just copy this down, and instead of listing, we want realtor, and this is going to come from realtors.models. Okay, realtors.models, import realtor, and let's say we'll do comment here. We'll say get all realtors. So I'll create a variable called realtors and set it to the model, and we want to do dot objects, and I'm going to do order by, and let's do by hire date. Alright, so we'll order by hire date, and let's see. We also want to get the seller of the month. Now remember, the seller of the month has the MVP check. If we go back to the admin area, I don't think we actually set it for anybody. So let's set it for Kyle. Whoops, we want to go to realtors. Let's set it for Kyle Brown. So right here, the check, I'm going to say is MVP. We'll go ahead and save that, and now he should be we want to make it so that he shows on the about page in that section. So let's go back and let's say get MVP, and we'll just do MVP underscore realtors. Now, even though we plan on just having one MVP or seller of the month, I'm just using these synonymously. I still want to grab a group. Basically, there can be more than one, okay, just in case they want to add more than one. So we'll set this to, let's set it to the same thing, realtor.objects.order by. Actually, we don't want order by, we're just going to do dot all. So dot all, and then the filter, so we want to do a filter, is going to be by is underscore MVP. It's going to look at that field, and it's only going to grab the ones that are true. And checking that box off that I just showed you is going to make that true. So now we just need to make a context. Okay, so we'll set this to a dictionary, and we'll do realtors. Set that to realtors. And then let's do MVP realtors. And we'll set that to MVP realtors, and then we'll just pass the context into the about. Perfect. So let's save that, and now we want to go to the about HTML, which is right here, and let's start off with just doing the whole realtors section. So down at the bottom, let's see, we have right here, team. So we have this column, all these call MD4s. These are all the team members. So what I'm going to do is go right here above the first call MD4, and I'm going to check for realtors. So if realtors, I like to just do all my logic up at the top, and then we'll just put in what we need instead of just trying to wrap everything. Okay, let's do an else as well, because if there are no realtors, we'll just say, I don't know, no team members available. Okay, so for the else, let's do a call-md-12 paragraph, and we'll say no realtors available. Okay, and if there are realtors, then we want to loop through them. So let's say for realtor in realtors, and we'll end that for. And then we want to grab just one of these div with the the class of call MD4. So I'll just go ahead and cut that out and put that right in that for loop. And then we just want to get rid of the other two, okay, because they're just static. So this one and this one. Let's go up to here, get rid of that, so shorten our page up. Good. So now we just want some dynamic stuff in here, like the realtor's name. So we'll go ahead and replace that. So realtor.name. And then the image or the photo. So we have realtor dot, and we just called it photo, I believe, but it's a URL, so we want to make sure we put that in there. Okay, we also want, let's see, we have the phone number. So let's say realtor dot phone, and then we'll do the email. Like that, and I think that's it. So let's go back to the about and reload and go down, and there we go. So these are actually coming from the database. Okay, so let's see, let's take care of this now. So realtor of the month or seller of the month, MVP, whatever you want to call it. Let's do that. We're going to go back to that same template, go up to right here. So seller of the month. We're going to go in this call MD4, and we're going to check for an MVP. So let's say if MVP underscore realtors. Like I said, we're going to do our logic first up here. I'm not going to do an else, because if there's no MVP, we're just not going to display anything here. So we'll do the if, and then if there is one, then we'll go ahead and loop through. So, because remember, it's going to return in our objects, multiple objects, but we're just going to make sure that just one is checked, but it is possible to check more than one. So let's say for MVP, let's just call it realtor. We can do that in MVP realtors. That's what matters. And then we're going to do an N4. Okay. And then I'm going to grab the card. So this right here. I'm going to cut that out and put that right in there. And then just replace the name right here with realtor.name. And remember, they also have a description. That's what's going to go here. Like that. Okay, so let's say, oh, actually the photo. I'm going to make sure we do that. So let's see, we want to do realtor.photo.url and save. Okay, let's go back and let's reload. There we go, Kyle Brown. So let's test it out and let's uncheck Kyle Brown. So if I do that, we should have no seller of the month. And let's go ahead, let's make Jenny Johnson seller of the month, or MVP. And reload, and there we go. So this is completely dynamic now. All right, good. So next thing I want to do is focus on the single listing page. So we'll make our query for a particular listing, okay, because when we click this, it takes us to this whatever listing slash and then the ID. We want to take that ID, make our query, fetch that listing, and then load the template. Okay, now for the template, we're going to have to copy a bunch of HTML from the Bootstrap theme, and then we'll just make it dynamic just like we did with these other pages. All right, so that's it. I will see you in the next video.